Hello. Welcome to another edition of Capper Comparison Picks. I'm Ranj. Today I'll be giving you the Capper Comparison Picks for UFC Vegas 50 select fights. By what I mean by select fights is I'm finishing off the prelim card and I got the curtain jerker for the main card on this. Hey Nor, this is past your bedtime. What are you doing still up? Mommy know you're down here?
Yeah, I need to write 1 hour on my schedule.
Okay, go ahead. So, anyway, be sure to check out the videos I've done. I did covered all the prelim fights right up to this one in the past couple days. Be sure to check those out. I did one on Sunday, and then I did one last night from the hotel room. I was going to do this show from the hotel, but by the time I got done with dinner, I was so tired. I actually do put a lot of work in my regular job, so end of the night, like right now I'm completely drained, but I have to do the content, have to get it done just so I can get every fight in before my live stream on Friday. My recap. Time check. Thank you. So let's get on with this before I fade away to zero. It's already very late. All right. Start off this show, we got the female flyweight fight between Aldrich and Gillian the Savage, Jillian Robertson. Aldrich is the striker here. Jillian Robertson, BJJ practitioner. That is her best path to victory, is on the ground. But does she have the skills to get every fight start standing? I don't know, this is going to be a tight one. Let's start with the favorite in Jillian Robertson. She's coming off a nice win against Priscilla Cachoeira. Priscilla Cachoeira, as you know, got a robbery last 2 weeks ago against Ji Young Kim. We're not going to talk about that, but regardless, because it was a robbery decision victory for her, she shouldn't have won it. That's why. When Jillian Robertson choked her out, Priscilla was trying to cheat with a little bit of eye gouging. But I guess when you're running out of air and you're choking, you'll do anything to survive. If that includes going knuckle deep into your opponent's eyeball, so be it. But Jillian took the pain, got the eye gouge, and got the choke, taking care of business against Priscilla Cachoeira. That was happened in round 1, rear naked choke. Prior to that, she lost to Miranda Maverick, who was also on this card on the prelim fight I covered yesterday. Miranda Maverick's got a pretty good test against Sabina Mazo. She's a heavy favorite, but Mazo does have height and reach. Anyway, check out the video yesterday, and I'll explain, and you can see which side I went there. Anyway. Prior to that, Jillian Robertson had another loss to Taila Santos. That's not a bad loss to have, though. Taila Santos, pretty good, well-rounded female fighter. Before that, she beat Poliana Botelho, unanimous decision, and she beat Courtney Casey by rear naked choke, round 3. If you look at her tapology, though, Jillian Robertson, her tapology is peppered with submission grappling exhibition or whatever, grappling tournaments, grappling matches, so she's definitely a grappler. She does have a little bit of stand-up striking and stuff, but not comparatively to Aldrich, who does have a 4.5-inch reach advantage. Jillian Robertson used to train at AT&T. I'm not sure where she's at now, but I know she's training and it's active because I just broke down a fight like a week or two ago, and the one of the girls was training with Jillian Robertson. So I know she's actively training. I haven't checked her Instagram or anything like that. Maybe I should have, but I'm busy guy. I don't have time for all that shit. Tapology does have her at ATT. I just don't think that's the case anymore. Maybe though. Who knows? Aldrich. She's fighting at Elevation. That's over in Colorado. So, you know, it'd say about Colorado facilities, the people training out of Colorado usually have a slightly better cardio because the oxygen level is lower in Colorado because they're in a higher elevation. Thus, that's why it's called Elevation. You know, MMA and fitness or something, whatever. JJ Aldrich is coming off a win against Vanessa Demopoulos. I think Vanessa Demopoulos may be the prettiest girl in the flyweight division right now. It's debatable, but I know she's up there, top 5 at least. And before that, she beat Courtney Casey. That's a good win to have. It was a split decision, though. She took a loss to Sabina Mazo, which is odd. Sabina Mazo got her by split decision. It was crazy. This fight is put up higher than Mazo versus Maverick. But yet, Mazo beat Aldrich, Maverick beat Robertson. So you think it should be, it's just kind of weird. But I guess they're going by namesake or something. I don't know. But anyway, she took that loss to Sabina Mazo. Prior to that, she had a win against Lauren Mueller. And she took a loss to Macy Barber, knees and punches, round 2. So 3-2 for both these women in their last 5. As I mentioned, JJ Aldrich does have a 4.5-inch reach advantage, but Jillian Robertson has a slight age advantage. Women's MMA is messed up with the age. It doesn't really come into play unless you're talking about, Marion Renault. Unless you're talking about over 40 years old going against the young. Look at that, 6 is gross. Okay, 26, Aldrich 29. So there you have that. Robertson is coming in as the slight favorite, -126. Aldrich, slight underdog, almost even. The line did move. Aldrich or Jillian Robertson opened up at -150. Aldrich was +130. So money's been coming in on the striker over Robertson, but if it does go to the ground, it should be Robertson's world, and that's where she should get the victory. But I don't know. Let's see what the cappers have to say, and then I'll explain which side I'm taking. I'm kind of on the fence, but hopefully I'll be swayed to one side or the other after going through the cappers. Okay, we've got taking JJ. Oh no, we're gonna start with Jillian Robertson. Taking Jillian Robertson, Artem MMA analysis. Artem from New Zealand, good capper. Put the stuff out early. I love that. He's saying Robertson should get the sub, and that as I did mention, is her best path to victory is submission on the ground, because she does all those extra grappling fights and tournaments. So there you have that. Then jumping on the Aldrich side, we have Burt MMA. Burt is saying Aldrich will get the decision by defending takedowns and outstriking Robertson on the feet. As I mentioned, she got longer reach, so she's lengthier, and she's a better striker than Robertson. So jumping over here, we also have Johnny K. Johnny K is also saying Robertson by submission. I like it. I see a trend here. Submission. But there's a trend over this way too, because Will Martin, he is the legendary capper, one of the originals, the OG capper, OG Will Martin. He's, I believe, he resides in Scotland, but he's been doing this thing before it was even a thing. He's been handicapping MMA fights before that was even, before, I think, like people were watching Will Martin before they even started their channels. So anyway, the tiebreaker, we've got relatively new to capital comparison picks, but I have used them, I think, once, maybe twice in the past, but I like them. I just don't come across, like I said, it's kind of I subscribe to all these different cappers that I like. Then whoever pops up on my feed when I type in UFC Vegas 50 predictions, whichever ones pop up first, that's the order I go. It's just random. I guess it's YouTube's algorithm is the one. I don't hit the bell on any of them. So, but I do subscribe to all of them that I like. Even some of the ones I don't like, but those ones I kind of pass. I'm not going to mention names. There are some that I subscribe to that, I'll use them if I'm desperate, but I kind of pick and choose. But usually it's just the order. Anyway, for the tiebreaker, we've got the MMA Advisors. That is brothers John and Bob. And what they do is like they'll go through the whole card and they'll take turns. Like Bob will do a breakdown and a prediction. Then John will do a breakdown and prediction. Bob will do one. John will do one. And it seems like they always agree. I have yet to see them disagree. I mean, to be honest with you, sometimes I'm kind of crunched on time, so I'll just, like, for example, I don't know what they chose on every single fight of this card. I focused in on what their choices were for these because I was getting ready for a show, you know what I mean? But this specific one was done by Bob. He is the younger brother from MMA Advisors, and he is going the side of JJ Aldrich, taking the underdog here. MMA Advisors, but they're both in agreement, like I said. And I know in all three of these, they definitely agreed. So MMA Advisors, Bob specifically is picking JJ Aldrich, but John also liking that spot. So, like, this is kind of a coin flip, female fight, could go either way. I don't know why the line moves so much. As I said, Robertson was minus 150. Money's been coming in at Aldrich. I think the train of thought with the common better in Tapology and probably the books and the line movement is because people are realizing fights do stand on their feet. Robinson is getting outclassed on the feet, and JJ Aldrich does have some decent takedown defense. But if it does go to the ground, it's kind of like when Marina Rodriguez fought Mackenzie Dern. It was kind of the same boat. Dern outclassed in the striking. Her path to victory was get on the feet and get a submission. But Marina Rodriguez, the few times she had great takedown defense that fight. The few times she did get taken down, she managed to fend off the submissions, and her striking on the feet was good enough to get the unanimous decision victory over Mackenzie Dern in that. And I think a lot of the fans are looking at this in the same way. So I guess I will go with that train of thought as well. And I'm going to take Aldrich to use her 4.5-inch reach to keep the punches, stay on the outside, don't get in danger of getting a takedown. If Robertson does shoot in for a takedown, defend that thing, or have a good fast get up game. Do not play around with Robertson on the ground, or she will submit you. And plus money. I just kind of wish I took it earlier, but I'm gonna go with JJ Aldrich to have a good fight IQ, keep the fight standing, get more value, more significant punches. I don't think she's going to put her out, but she will get, I think, a decision victory. However, if Robertson does manage to pull JJ Aldrich to the ground, I would assume Robertson's going to get it. She very well may get a submission. So, but my pick here is going to be JJ Aldrich at plus money, winning by decision. Moving on. Next, we've got, this is a low-key, a much better fight than the odds show. We've got the welterweight fight between Matt Semelsberger, the Jedi, taking on AJ Fletcher, the Ghost. Ooh. Matt Semelsberger is the 2-1 favorite here. He's minus 220. He's got a record of 9-3. Training out of Maryland, place called Crazy 88. It's a small Crazy 88 BJJ. It's a small place that Semelsberger's been going there for several years. He might even have stock in it. I don't know, but why? You know, it's in his hometown. He's used to it. Why go to a bigger camp? Sometimes it works out better that way. He's coming off a win against Martin Sano, right cross, 15 seconds in round 1. Very impressive. She did take a loss before that to Chaos Ox Fighter Williams by unanimous decision. But then before that, he took care of Jason Witt. Counter right, 16 seconds, round 1. So that's 2 fights he's taken people out in less than 20 seconds, round 1. Very good, very good. Prior to that, he beat Carlton Minus in his UFC debut. So he's 4-1 in his last 5. That one loss coming from the hands of Chaos Williams, not very bad. Prior to the UFC, he fought in Art of War, CFFC, and Shogun Fights. He is a former high school and NCAA D2 Division II college football player. He played at Marist. He was, I do believe, a linebacker. And he's got 3-inch height and an 8-inch reach advantage over AJ Fletcher. Now let's talk about this AJ Fletcher guy, because not many people know anything about him. The Ghost. He's coming off the Contender Series. That's why this is his UFC debut, and that is why I think he's a big plus 185. He comes with undefeated, never seen a loss. Undefeated record of 9-0. He does have a couple losses back in the amateur rankings. I think he's got 2 losses in amateurs, but nothing too crazy. I think they were both maybe decision losses. I really couldn't tell you. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I did look at it though. So he's a big Louisiana regional scene guy. He's beat like 9-0 as a pro, so he's went through and beat all them down there in Louisiana. He trains with Dustin Poirier and Alan Jouban. Says Gladiators Academy, but considering Louisiana, I would imagine. Yeah, I know he does train with Dustin Poirier and Alan Jouban. When they're, I don't know, Dustin Poirier is supposed to be ATT, but I know this guy, AJ Fletcher, is training with him. He's also a former high school standout wrestler, football player, and soccer player. Tri-sport, which is weird because soccer and football are usually the same season. It's not, I don't think you can, I know in New York you can't, unless he's playing spring league soccer, which I suppose he'd be doing that, but here in New York, soccer season, high school soccer season's same time as high school football season. You can't be a soccer star and a football star, or maybe he took a year off one, played the other. He wanted to play football in college because he was such a standout. He was a kicker and a middle linebacker. Problem was, too short. He's too short to play linebacker in college. He didn't get a scholarship, and that's why he transformed all his athletic abilities into MMA. I read a short article about AJ Fletcher joins mixed martial arts competition out of spite because he had the skills. His senior year or something, he had like 268 tackles or something like that in Louisiana, and he had some state kicking records. I told you he was a kicker and a middle linebacker. Weird combination. But he couldn't get into any college because he was too short. The guy is, like I said, Semelsberger has a 3-inch height and 8-inch reach advantage. AJ Fletcher's height is, I think, listed at 5'9", but from what cappers have saying, that's a puffed up 5'9". That's a little bit fluffy because realistically, he's more like a 5'7". I don't know. But I know the pictures I've seen of this guy, the dude is ripped. Like he's like bodybuilder ripped. Soccer transformed his tree trunk legs into defined like bodybuilder legs, and he's got the upper body like V and muscles in the right spots, veins protruding. He looks like a bodybuilder, but I guess his cardio holds through, and he listened to this. His last 5, he beat the guy in the Contender Series, Leonardo Damiani, by a flying knee. Okay, round 1. And prior to that, he was an AKA in Louisiana. That's a regional scene. Icon, that's a regional scene in Mississippi, and Atlas Fights, another regional scene in Mississippi, where he beat every one of these guys, Ariel Juarez, Wesley Gordon, and James Freeman, all by submission in round 1. The dude is for real. I understand that Semelsberger does have the experience, and he's been in there with some, and he's beat Martin Sano, Jason Witt, Carlton Minus, UFC caliber opponents. But this guy, I don't know, something's telling me, do not count this guy out. So, let's see what the cappers have to say. In this case, you understand Semelsberger is a -220 favorite, so you probably already know which way the cappers are going to go. They're kind of too afraid to take underdogs when it comes to this, but who knows? We'll see what happens. We've got, let's see, Will Martin taking Semelsberger. He did not say method of victory, but I do believe, if I remember correctly, he's saying because of his resume of fighters that he's gone through, he's got, better backlog. Fletcher's beaten these guys in the Mississippi and Louisiana regional scenes. He's done it with an exclamation point, though. Every time he's beat all these guys within the first round. I don't think he's 100% finish rate, though. I do believe he does have some decision victories throughout there. I could be wrong, though. I just know his last 5, 100% finish rate. All submissions, except for that flying knee in the Contender Series. Very impressive flying knee. Then we've got Johnny K. He's saying Semelsberger. Semelsberger also very impressive. Johnny K is saying a knockout round 3 for Semelsberger, and I don't know round 3. Why he's saying that? Because Semelsberger's knocked out UFC caliber people like Jason Witt and Martin Sano 15 seconds and 16 seconds respectively. So he's taken both those UFC caliber fighters out in less than 20 seconds of round 1. So I mean, you might just say round 1. I don't know, Johnny. But anyway, Artem also taken Semelsberger, surprise, surprise, by KO. And we've got Bert taking Semelsberger by decision. That's interesting. Probably using that big 8-inch reach advantage. That's going to come into play. This other guy, Fletcher, he's built like Sean Shirk. Remember that guy? Used to big steroid head back in the day. Used to have that that rivalry with was it the Matt Hughes maybe? He had that rivalry with one of those guys down like I think I want to say lightweight. Sean Shirk, he was all roided up back then. That's how this guy reminds me of him, because he got that look of a bodybuilder. You see that big old vein in his bicep. You know what I'm saying? So, but surprisingly, I don't know. The cardio hasn't been tested though. His last 5, he has not tested that cardio because he's destroying everybody in the first round. He did wrestle in high school too. Tri-sport, wrestling, football, soccer. I did write down a little note. Of his 9 victories, only one of those went to decision. So the rest of them just finishing everybody. But he does have a fight that he won, went to decision. So there you have that. So we got the Louisiana high school football standout taking on the Maryland high school football standout that actually did get a scholarship to go to Marist to play. Fletcher never found that scholarship. Oh, there's one more one more capper left, and they are contrarian. That's right, the MMA Advisors, the brothers, and this one was the older brother took care of this. I told you they switch back and forth. It seems like the older brother's John, and John said KO, and Bob during the all these links will be in the description. I urge you guys to check all of them out. They're very, very informative, very good. And Bob said, I like it. I agree, I like it. Let's take Fletcher at plus money, plus 185. And I really, that is very enticing. And I want to go that way. I just can't because Semelsberger does have that experience. And he does have those quality knockout wins in less than 20 seconds. I think he's going to be, there's no thinking. He's definitely going to be the bigger guy in there. Maybe not more physique, muscular Adonis type, but he's going to be bigger and he's going to come down with those overhand punches and clock Fletcher. Fletcher has yet to face anybody at the skill set of Semi the Jedi. So I have to go this way too. I think the line is a touch wider than it should be, but Semelsberger should be the favorite. I just don't like the minus 220. That's kind of, maybe he should be more like a minus, 160. Minus 160 would be fair, but I guess, considering his experience and his size advantage, what's their ages? 29 for Semelsberger, 25 for Fletcher. Not a big deal in ages. I'll write them down though. Semelsberger almost 30, Fletcher 25. Low key, I will be I might even hedge bet this sucker. I might do a little hedge bet. I probably will, just cause he's plus 185. But my pick is Semelsberger, and I think he's going to get I don't know if he's gonna knock this guy out. I mean, he could. What's his fight at? 170. He could knock him out, but I think that Fletcher, he appears very tough. He's got tough mentality, like the whole, I can't play football in college because I'm too short. I'm going to go MMA and I'm going to shock the world. And so far, so good, brother. Undefeated. So I think he's going to edge out a decision. I'm with Bert on this one. All right. Hopefully that'll be a plus number, but I don't know. We'll see. The over-under set at 1.5. So they're probably assuming the bookies are probably assuming Semelsberger within distance. If otherwise, that would be at 2.5. You know what I mean? So they're probably assuming Semelsberger within distance. So that's probably still a minus, probably minus 110 or something. I don't play that. I'm a plus money junkie. I have to bet plus money. So if I prop it, I'll say decision, or I'll pick the round. And if I have to pick the round, I'm probably picking round 1 because that's where Semelsberger would come out. And this guy's going to come out too and probably dump their tanks in round 1 and somebody's going to fall. That's why that's set at 1.5. But moving on. Next, we have this banger. This is going to be a great fight. We got the UFC veteran Bruno Silva, underdog here, going against Glory Kickboxing veteran Alex Pereira. Now, you guys don't know about Alex Pereira, which I'm sure all y'all do. Anybody watching this show will, because you guys are not just casuals. You watch this show because you want to edge on who's gonna win these fights. You already know about these people. You know Alex Pereira beat Israel Adesanya twice in kickboxing. One time knocked him out. The other time he beat him by decision. But he was also a multi-belt champion in Glory Kickboxing. He lost those belts since then, but I think at least one of them. But he did hold 2 weight class belts in Glory Kickboxing. Phenomenal, epic kickboxer. But he's taking on this dude, Bruno Silva, Blindado, right? Is that his name? Yeah, Blindado. Alex Pereira's Powhatan, I think, I don't know, whatever. Blindado he's on a 7-fight win streak. He's got a killer's, I want to say 20 knockouts maybe. Of those 22 wins, 20 of them are by knockout. But we're going to discuss Alex Pereira first. Alex Pereira is coming off a win, his UFC debut. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna 4-1. It's his record. We're gonna talk about every one of those. Okay, his most recent fight was Andreas Michailidis, a wrestler that can also strike a little bit, but he's more known for his wrestling. Alex Pereira, that was UFC debut. Caught. Actually, Andre Michailidis, he won the first round. He had a couple takedowns, I think, and game plan was set. He was doing well. He won first round. Second round, Alex Pereira got him with a flying knee. Boom! Good night, Irene. See you later, Andreas Michailidis. Alex Pereira, dominant flying knee victory, round 2. Prior to that, he took out this guy in the LFA, round 1 with a left hook, Thomas Powell. Then he had 2 fights in the Jungle Fights. And remind you, between all this shit, he has kickboxing fights. Look at his Tapology's littered with kickboxing fights. Most of them are green. He does have a couple reds in there. Most of them victories, though. Jungle Fights, he beat a guy named Marcus Pericles Vinicius or something like. Oh no, Marcus Vinicius. He beat him by punches in round 2. Of course, punches, he's a kickboxing and punching guy. And he beat Marcelo Cruz TKO round 1. Okay, his one loss was to Kwemu Otoni. I think that was also in Jungle Fights. And how did he lose? Rear naked choke, round 3. That is his kryptonite for this guy. His holes are in his grappling and BJJ, which Bruno Silva does know how to do that, but he's yet to show it. He never goes that route. You know what I'm saying? Both these guys are in their 30s, so you got to consider that. Silva's 32, Pereira 34, and here's a big deal breaker though for the Bruno Silva guys supporters. Bruno Silva, like I said, on the ground, he should have the advantage, but he's too proud to take it there. He's got those 20 knockouts. He's on a 7-fight win streak, battering people. Let's talk about his last 5, okay? Beat Jordan Wright, Beverly Hills Ninja, punches, round 1. He beat Andrew Dirty Sanchez, got him out of the UFC, took care of him, standing KO, TKO, round 3. Before that, took care of Wellington Turman, ground and pound, round 1. That was Bruno Silva's UFC debut. Wellington Turman just submitted somebody last week or the week before last. He submitted the was it last week? The guy from his name's right tip of my tongue. I can't think of it. Anyway, Bruno Silva took care of Wellington Turman. And prior to that, he beat Artem Frolov in M1 Global by punches in round 4. That was, I think he was headlining that card. So Bruno Silva's taken out these UFC caliber fighters. I mean, Jordan Wright, that's arguably UFC caliber, but he's still. And Dirty Sanchez, Andrew Sanchez, he was UFC caliber, but now after that loss, Bruno Silva, he was cut. He's now in a, I would imagine, lower promotion. Wellington Turman, he just coming off a victory. It's gonna bug me who he beat, but he did. I lost money on that too, and he choked the guy out. It was like a week before last. It was that card I did shitty on. Last week I did great, but anyway, Bruno Silva fights out of Evolução Thai MMA, that is in Brazil. Alex Pereira fights out of Teixeira MMA and Fitness in Connecticut, owned by champion Glover Teixeira, who does know a little bit about grappling and a little bit about BJJ. So I'm sure that's Alex Pereira, knowing that's his weakness, is probably working on that shit with the champ, you know, Glover Teixeira over there in Connecticut. New gym for the 42-year-old champion Alex Teixeira. Love that. Love that about Glover Teixeira. I love that everybody was against him, coming in as an underdog, just kept his mouth shut, handled business. Now he's the champ, ruined everybody's parlays. I loved it. Anyway, so this is an interesting fight here. We're gonna see what the cappers have to take, starting off with the favorite. Rumor has it UFC wants to see Alex Pereira and Israel Adesanya, so this may be just a feeder fight, like they're feeding him Bruno Silva, because they know Bruno Silva's stubborn and his path to victory would be to go to the ground, but he won't because he's too proud and he'll think that he can compete with the much bigger Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira's got 4-inch height and 6-inch reach over Bruno Silva. He's gonna be way bigger in there, and he's big for the middleweight division. He looks like a 205er in there, and he's iron too. He's a like Colossus from the X-Men, just iron. And Bruno Silva, I'm not saying Bruno Silva's in bad shape, but this guy's massive in size comparison. Wait till you see the face-offs. It's gonna look like Big Brother versus little kid, but I mean, it kind of looked that way with last week too, with Bryce Mitchell. So I mean, he looked like a little kid too, but look, he got that dominant victory. Anyway, back to this. Let's see. We've got taking the favorite. We got MMA Advisors. This one was handled by Bob, and Bob is doubling down on his bet on this. Very confident, saying Pereira take care of business round 1. Of course, knockout. He's not gonna, definitely not submission. So if he wins by finish, it's definitely going to be a knockout. Submission, I'm sure the odds would be crazy because that's not going to happen. Okay, then we've got Artem also taking Pereira to get the job done. Pereira though, 4-1. Silva, 22-6. The experience is way heavy on the Silva side, but not really though. I mean, MMA experience, but kickboxing experience. Pereira's a veteran. Like I said, he held a belt in 2 different weight classes over at Glory Kickboxing. So and he knocked out Israel Adesanya and beat him. He's 2-0 against Israel Adesanya in kickboxing. But will Bruno Silva incorporate takedowns and grappling? That Michaelitis fight, Michaelitis took him down twice in the first round, but Pereira did manage to defend a little bit better, and I think his move to Teixeira MMA and Fitness, he's probably honed up on that skill of defending takedowns. I'm sure they know that's his weakness. So like I said, I'm sure he's been working on that, and the dude's iron. So we also have Burt taking Pereira by knockout, and Johnny K also taking Pereira. A lot of other cappers I've listened to also done. I've only heard of one capper taking Silva. He happens to be on my show, and he's the contrarian picker, the OG. Will Martin is going with Silva. Silva on that 7-fight win streak, 20 knockouts of his own. Will Martin thinks he's going to be able to compete better than these other guys standing up, and perhaps He does have that Brazilian. He's a Brazilian. He does have that advantage on the ground in his back pocket if it goes there. But the way I see it, the only way it's going to go there is if he gets rocked, which I think he probably will against this dude. Pereira's a killer when it comes to standing up on the feet, and every fight stands up like that. So unless Silva can get it down, which I've yet to see him use 20 knockouts. There's not submissions in there. Not one submission victory. Of his 22 victories, 20 knockouts, 2 decisions. No submissions. So I don't see it going there. But that would be the way to go. So reluctantly, I'm going to have to go with the favorite here also in Pereira. I think there might be some truth behind that theory that they're trying to set up Pereira to face Izzy, considering he's the only one to ever knock out Izzy, the only one to get any victories, and he's undefeated against Israel Adesanya also. So, tinfoil hat, they're feeding him Bruno Silva just as another check. If he beats Bruno Silva, he's moving straight up the ranks. BC Dave picked Alex Pereira as his unranked contender pick on the contest. Smart thinking, Dave. If he wins this, he should be up in the rankings and maybe a fight or two away from facing Israel Adesanya. But the thing is, they gotta put him against grappler / BJJ guy that will use it, that will not stand and bang with him. Silva is too proud for that. You can see it in his face. If he gets hit, he turns red and he's angry and he's emotional, and he'll think that he's good enough to stand and bang with this giant guy that has 6-inch reach and 4-inch height advantage over him. That's where his fault is, and I think that's why Pereira is probably gonna do something, get a big overhand punch, or maybe even a kick to the head or a flying knee, something where he's gonna take care of Bruno Silva by knockout, which is a shame because I love Bruno Silva. Bruno Silva happens to be the chat's. The chat, Real News MMA and Noah Allen, it's one of their picks for the unranked contender fights, contender series contest, contender series, unranked contender contest. That's what we had. That is, Silva is one of their picks. Pereira happens to be one of Dave's picks. Sorry guys, the matchup is already, you guys made your picks before this matchup was even made, I think. But anyway, Pereira should get the victory there, but I'm kind of low-key rooting for Silva to shock everybody, because I think Tapology has Pereira, like 90% of Tapology has Pereira. So there you have it. To recap, time check. And man, the camera like moves. And I apologize for that. I don't know why it does that. To recap, I've got JJ Aldrich getting a decision victory over Jillian Robertson by better striking, keeping on the outside, defending takedowns, keeping it standing, using her reach advantage to outpoint her and outvolume her in strikes. Robertson, only path to victory is to get it down on the ground in submission. But I think JJ Aldrich has enough takedown defense to prevent that from happening. Then I've got Semelsberger using his 8-inch reach advantage, size advantage, 3-inch height advantage to unfortunately take out, well, not take him out, but unfortunately get the win over AJ Fletcher. I like AJ Fletcher, the dude's just not big enough. I mean, but it's really, what is this, welterweight? One of these guys, they could catch each other, and I don't know, it could go. Fletcher could catch him. That's why I'm putting a hedge bet on Fletcher, just a little flyer, maybe a $10 bet, just to make $18.50. You know, just $10 flyer on Fletcher. But my pick on Tapology for contest pick will be Semelsberger. I'm going to say by decision because I think Fletcher is tough SOB. I don't think he's going to get knocked out. It could happen, but I'm going to go stick with decision. And finally, Alex Pereira should be able to knock out Blindado Bruno Silva. Unfortunately, Silva's just outsized, and he's too proud to take it to the ground where he should, where he does have some skills, but he won't use them skills. Instead, he'll try to stand and bang for the crowd, for his fans, and he will lose to a much bigger Alex Pereira that does have the kickboxing expertise in this case. So I think he's going to get a knockout. If I have to pick the round, I'm going to have to say round 2. No, I would say round 1. Silva's not going to wrestle. If he wrestled, that's how Michaelitis made it to round 2, because the first round he wrestled. Round 2, each round starts standing up too. It's not like the round ends, the next round they start in like guard or anything. They don't start in wrestling down position. They start both standing. So I'll say round 2 for that. So there you have it. Gather the info, place those bets, and cash those tickets. I really appreciate you watching. Go ahead and give me that thumbs up. I love that. Fill the comments with all your thoughts on these fights. I like reading all the comments. Go ahead and express who you think's going to win and why. I like when people take the underdogs, but in this case, I don't have any except for JJ Aldrich, which is a slight underdog. But I do have an argument for Fletcher, but I just don't think he's going to get it done. But I am putting a hedge bet on him. So anyway, thanks for watching. Good luck on your bets, and I will see you tomorrow when I cover some of the main card fights. Good night.